Hello, I think we are live. And if this camera looks a different view, I'm doing this from my iPhone because we have had a really difficult time getting Facebook Live to work this morning. In fact, this morning, it's been challenged because in Southern California where I am, and not all of Southern California, woke up without power. There was some kind of power outage in the Seal Beach, Orange County area. So I am live, great. You're gonna have to be my eyes because I'm looking at my phone as my camera here, and I am not seeing if anybody is on. I'm not getting much feedback. So do we have anyone? First, I want to apologize for all the delays. It's been very frustrating. April and I have been on this call trying to get this to work for the last 30 minutes. Just so everyone knows, we try to be prepared. We get on our systems 10 minutes before, and it looked like everything was working. Then you find out, no, it's not even working, and not sure why. So anyhow, I'm doing this from my telephone, my iPhone. I'm still on an old iPhone, and it still works. And if you see me looking this way, it's because I'm trying to see if I can get the monitor here in case anybody types in a question. But besides that, April's behind the scenes helping me out as always. Thank you, April. I'm here. If you have any questions, just put it in. I see that Dan is watching. Thank you. Wow, there's a button that says I can bring him into video. I'm not sure if he would like that or not. So anyhow, I actually now have on this over here a big screen so I could kind of look around. And I actually have a screen behind me too, so we'll see how this goes. Anyhow, I'm Michael Maynard. I am founder and CEO of the brand Amino. I've got some in my display case behind me. I also have my logo in front of me, which is probably mirrored, so it's probably hard to see. But this is our ice shaker. It's actually owned by Gronk, if you're a football. The Gronk brothers started this company. When I saw the ice shaker, they sent me a free evaluation one. And honestly, I've never had something keep things colder than this one here. That's why they call it an ice shaker instead of just some hydration flask or something like that. So anyhow, that product goes out free to all of our BFF members. And BFF, it stands for Best Friends Forever. It's the name of our Subscribe and Save program. And our Subscribe and Save program is we can auto ship a product, which one is going to be free shipping. So you save about $12. And 10% off if you put one thing in your basket. When you buy two, it goes to 15, and eventually it does have to stop eventually, guys. But it stops at 30%. So you can get up to 30%. And currently our system is it has to be the same product, but our developer, Adrian, who's not on this call right now because she's working on our website, we will be upgrading, and I can't wait to send the email that now you can spread your quantity over our entire product line. So you can have one of this, and one of this, and each time that means it's going to be 10, 15, 20% off because you put three things in your cart. Now, here is the secret. Put as much in your cart to get a good discount, and then have it ship every 8 weeks or 12 weeks. Our system might show that it's 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. If you want it 12 weeks, just reach out to us, and we can then change your subscription. The way our system works is we can't enter your credit card in there. We can't alter things, can't do much, but what we can do is change your frequency. We could swap out a product if you asked for it, type of thing. But the best deal in town is get the free shipping, get the discounts, and order a lot, but just less often. You get the best deal in town. And with that, you also get cash back every transaction for future purchases. And you get rewards like this. This one, we give this out after your 50th subscribed order, but we give out pins, hats, towels, and all that kind of stuff. So if you need any help at any time, our phone number is on our products. It's on our website. We've got an incredible customer service manager by the name of Rupert, who I just talked before I got on the phone with you guys. He's here. He'll answer your email. You can even chat with him, and you go to our website, www.omino, Amino without the exclamation point.com. He can help you there. So we've got one guy who works nothing but customer service, and he's online from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific. We are a Western company, and he is a great guy. So one thing for people, and I've been told to do this, and I didn't do it last time, don't forget to follow and subscribe this program. And Jeffrey Pinzon, I see that you are watching. Thank you for joining. I recently saw your order. One thing that people might not know is the very first order comes out of our corporate office. Most orders actually come out of Utah, where we have a warehouse and a dedicated team there to fulfill things at a much bigger scale, big warehouse. But if it's the first time, we want to give a good impression, So I do know, Jeffrey Pinzon, that you ordered just last week, and I personally signed a letter and a note. It's really my handwriting. It's not an auto pen thing. And I purposely always do a PS, so you can tell with my crappy handwriting that, oh yeah, that came from Michael. I've seen his writing before, not very good. Sorry about that. But anyhow, as I mentioned, please follow and subscribe. We are trying to commit to coming to these meetings. This Zoom, it's not a Zoom, this live event every Thursday at 10 a.m. We're going to expand into Instagram. I'm going to buy some technology so we broadcast once, but to all the devices that people like to watch and view things on. Last week, my best friend from high school, and he still might be on here, Dan Ort, actually contacted in, and that was a hoot for me. And I guess I age myself when I say things like, that's a hoot for me. But it was good catching up with Dan. Dan is a retired LA County sheriff. And if you know things about LA County sheriffs, they start everyone out in the prisons. And from there you get onto the beat. But when you're in a prison, you have to maintain peace, keep the peace, use more of your head, but be prepared to use a little bit of muscle here, because they don't let you bring in a weapon, because the prisoners can possibly take it away from you and hurt you. But you have to be able to defend yourself. So he was a great athlete in high school, and it was fun having him online. And he said, Michael, you got to tell the story of why you started this thing, how you founded the product, how did that all work? So I'm going to get to that, but I can tell that Jeffrey's asking a question. You're taking the pre-workout. Oh, if I'm taking pre-workout, is sustained energy pre-workout with creatine monohydrate, and I just got the muscle synthesis activator, can I mix them together? Absolutely. You can mix creatine with our muscle synthesis activator. What you don't want to do is add BCAAs or any other essential amino acid. The science behind our product is the ratios. Not just 3 BCAAs, but all 9 of the essential amino acids, which include the 3 BCAAs. But the science is all about the ratios. How much leucine to lysine to isoleucine to valine to histidine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then the other thing we do is we add in 1 extra semi-essential amino acid. We add 5 electrolytes, not just cheap salt. The better ones are salt and potassium, but we actually have 5 electrolytes. We do the chloride, the sodium, the potassium, the magnesium, and the calcium. So ours is a premium electrolyte blend, and I'm going to be talking about that later. And on top of that, we add adaptogens. And these particular patented adaptogens actually have proof in science that it's going to help the absorption of the amino acids that we provide. So we already provide the ideal ratios to promote muscle synthesis, also known as muscle protein synthesis, also known as protein synthesis. If you ever see those 3 terms and there's sometimes it's this way, this way, this way, It's all the same. It's synonyms, and a lot of science people shorten it up and now are just calling it muscle synthesis. I'm one of those people who decided to do that, in 2018, before I even launched the product. So, so the answer to your question is, if it's just creatine, go ahead, add it. You also might want to consider the creatine that we put out. The difference between our creatine and most is just commodity monohydrate. And don't get me wrong, monohydrate works. It is really good. It's also a bit rough on your stomach. So we had two forms of creatine. We had the monohydrate and the hydrochloride. The hydrochloride is more buffered. It's easier on the stomach. So if you did want to take multiple scoops because you're in a loading phase, you're not going to get the blowouts. You're not going to have those issues. And by putting both, we're looking at working two different metabolic pathways to ensure that you're getting all the creatine to flood your body and bring that volume that you're looking for. So I hope that asks your question. I'm going to actually, excuse my thumb, I'm liking your comment. And I guess I'm going to have to reply, or actually Rupert probably will reply to this comment saying, hey, per what Michael said, go for it. So why I founded Amino. I'm a supplement guy, have been since 1993. Some of the products that I've developed for other brands, big brands, are in Costco, Walmart, Sam's. And by the way, you're very welcome, Jeff. And part of making products for others, you see patents and you see the science. And a lot of times if I see the science in contract manufacturing, I want to get that exclusive so I can go out to other marketers of supplements. Primarily, that's what I used to do, is make stuff for other people. And no one else can compete with me because I kind of locked up the tech. Well, I decided to do that when I saw the latest science on amino acids in 2017. But I said to myself, I built my company in 2008. And at that time, I said to myself, I'd be kicking myself in the head the rest of my life if I didn't start my own company. So in 2008, I did, Own Nutrition. But now, 2017, I said, well, not, I guess 2017 was when I discovered the stuff or the science. When I'm launching and getting the negotiation to go out, I said, I'm going to kick myself in the head the rest of my life that I didn't make a brand for myself and for my family business. So we did. So instead of me getting on a plane and going to every active sports nutrition supplement company trying to sell them these essential amino acid patents and technology, I decided to launch myself. And that's why I launched Amino. And with that came what I call the line in the sand. When you see any product by Amino, it has pillars. And pillar number one is there real science, real peer-reviewed? Are the studies placebo-controlled, crossover, etc.? Is the science strong? Multiple studies. And the answer for our amino products, yes. Two, is it covered by a patent? If I'm going to do all this work to launch, is there a patent that at least protects my efforts? Now, people can try to knock me off and be similar, but as soon as they cross certain lines, attorneys will contact them and say, stop, and by the way, you owe us money now. And then the last one is, okay, it's got science, it has patents. Can we be the best product? Literally the best. Because I don't have the marketing funds of the big conglomerates. Some of our competitors do $80, $90 million a year. We're just a little multi-million dollar brand. We're small. We're a family business. So if I can't outspend them, which I know I can never do, and I don't have the big marketing departments they do, I rely on some individuals that I bring on, kind of freelance. I better at least be the best. And those are my three pillars. By the way, it looked like I flipped you off. Sorry. I'm trying to do kind of like a thing, so I'm not going to make a gesture like that again. I don't want to be banned by Facebook. So that's why I founded this brand. And the three pillars is, if you ever see a product by Amino, you know it's a world-class product backed by science, backed by patents. And with a supplement guy who's been developing supplements since 1993, you know it comes with one of the industry experts and OGs in my industry. And yeah, I am now recognized that I am old. And that's part of kind of why I'm coming online here, is I know there's a lot of other OGs like me. I'm in my 60s. I try my best not to look like it. I work out, I don't want to say a lot, but very efficiently, and I am committed to fitness. And when I started this brand, I made sure that our target market, I call it people in the fitness culture. What does that mean? It sounds very academic, but what it means to me is people who have made a commitment to fitness. They have equipment in their own home gym. They have a membership. They go often. They want to see results. And as you get older, the plateaus are real. And with this product, I can tell you the plateaus can be shattered. You can evolve. If all of a sudden it's like, I look exactly the same and this is not the body I want, we can help. And by the way, taking a step back, rule number 1 of working out, especially as when you get into your 40s, don't get hurt. If you get hurt, your motivation goes away because you can't go to the gym anymore. So here, especially anybody who's just getting back into it or starting new for the first time, again, we're here behind you. We want to help. We're going to help prevent injury with you. And if you do get injured, we are really good at recovery. And by the way, that's what working out is. You are doing micro tears in your muscles if you're working out the right way. We're here to recover from that. And with that recovery is where the magic happens. People don't concentrate on recovery enough. What you do when you work out, very important. What you do when you're not working out to recover and build and gain strength, that's almost as important. So we're here to help you not get sick. Sorry if I keep itching. I've got an itchy nose, and I know that's not good to do in public, so I apologize. So I'm going to go scroll down and look over on this side. Got a thank you from Jeffrey. He is here from California. We're California too. Love it. So if anybody else is on the line, because I'm not knowing where to look for the stats, don't forget to follow. Don't forget to like, engage with us. And in advance, contact us and saying, I want you to cover how to use a kettlebell. I see people at the gym using it different ways. What's the right way? And I might have said this on a previous one. I have the privilege and pleasure of working with some of the top trainers in our country. I work with professional bodybuilders and all the work that they do. I have a couple of NFL and NBA people that I actually get to talk to from time to time. So even if it's a question like, I don't do kettlebells, I do dumbbells. And I have a set from 10 all the way up to 90, which means I can do just about anything with dumbbells that you can do with a machine. I love the dumbbells because you never need a spotter. At any point, you can just drop and you're safe. And that goes back to my whole point of never get hurt. Protect yourself. And with that said, from a workout standpoint, it's better to concentrate on form and the slowness, especially as you bring things back. Add that resistance of slow. You'll get better form. You'll still see results, and you're taking away an aspect that might injure you, because rule number 1 is don't get injured. So again, if you haven't, click follow, click join. Daniel's asking, and again, I knew him as Dan. He's now Daniel because he's got a wife who likes that. I get that. I was Mike, and now I'm Michael. Where did the name Amino evolve? Another word. How did I come up with that name? Well, as I mentioned, I'm a supplement guy, and I had my first patent exclusive was in omega-3. I have done immense work in omega-3, fatty acids, fish oil. If you've ever heard of enteric coating fish oil, that's my claim to fame, or one of my claim to fame. I kind of invented the process, the technology of how you do that on the soft gel. And I brought that to the American marketplace back in 2005, 2006, something like that. So at one point I get access, and I thought I was going to brand it, but I got so big that I just had certain customers who got into this patent. And so I decided to rename my company name to O Nutrition, OH explanation nutrition, because I came up with the brand name Omega, OH explanation point MEGA. And by the way, one of these days, you're going to see Omega by O Nutrition in the marketplace. Because if anything, what I've been able to successfully make with this business, and I just cut it to the quickest term, is I basically have a platform to make supplements for athletes. And by the way, all of you who work out, you're an athlete. Some people go, well, I'm not an athlete. I'm not on a team. No, you're committed to fitness. You're in the fitness control. You're in the fitness culture. You are participating. You're committed. That makes you an athlete. That doesn't mean you're competing, or maybe it does. But anyhow, the name started with, if I was going to come out with a brand of omega-3, what would be cool? What would be different? And then I thought, Omega, make it Omega. So I trademarked that, and I still have that trademark. And then it's like, well, what company should be behind this Omega, which, is, and by the way, I do put out a few bottles of that a year for myself and some friends. Not a huge quantity, but I was able to, I do that just to protect my trademark. So it is in use. It's just not in huge use, but enough to protect my trademark, which is a cool name. So then I came up with the O Nutrition, and I'm still doing business to business to business. And then all of a sudden, amino acids and the science behind it. And so I'm working with a creative friend of mine who I've done other work with. I go, what the heck should I call it? And he looks at me and goes, you are so dense, Michael. You own the trademark Omega with the explanation point. You own O Nutrition. Hello, aminos? Why not call it Aminos? And I went, oh my gosh. So that's how that came. The only little regret I have is very creative names, looks cool on paper, but for my website and for emails and for the web in general, you can't use an exclamation mark or what they call a wildcard in your web address or in your email address. So even though it's OH explanation point, and that's what you see on the package, that's what you see in my branding, you have to ditch the exclamation mark when you actually go to my site. So it is actually ohmino.com. And there's other portals and social media engagement where you can't use the explanation point. And my bank did not like the explanation point. The IRS was okay with it in some documents and others not. State of California for sales tax, they did not like it, but other states were okay with it. So I don't want to call it a regret, but the only thing is I wish I would have known before, or at least thought, I better make sure I can get this email and this website with the explanation point in. And the answer is no, you can't. No one can. It's part of the whole web technology that explanation points will not work. So I'm going to take a little look over here to the side to see if we have any other questions. And Dan, thank you. Very cool. So I've mentioned how I started the brand. I now have mentioned how I came up with the name. I talked a little bit about our BFF Subscribe and Save program. Now I'm going to explain why we call it BFF. BFF stands for Best Friends Forever. Now, many people say, what, you sound like a teenage girl. Well, one, I was a father of teenage girls at the time when I delivered this or came up with this. But when you do a company, you do traditional business planning. And in business planning, what's your mission? You eventually get to your core value and principles. And the first one that we wanted to do is we wanted to personalize what is the best salesperson customer? What do they all have in common? And we're brainstorming as a family business. And a person by the name of Dean popped up. And a lot of us know who Dean is. He's this Canadian guy, and he literally is that Canadian stereotype of being the nicest, kindest man you will ever meet. He always remembered my wife's name. He knew my kids' name. He knew their birthdays. He literally treated me like I was his best friend every time we had dealings. And as a supplier to me, there are sometimes he had to give bad news. There are sometimes that if there was a conflict and I wasn't paying on time, he always treated me as a best friend. And that's what, if I can hire nothing but deans and have a whole bunch of deans working for my company, I want that perspective to be our core principle. And so our first core principle as a company is we treat customers, vendors, suppliers, neighbors, we treat them all as best friends. And I was very specific with the word as versus like. Because if I treat you like something, that's disingenuous. That's not going to get to the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter in life, and now I'm going gushy on you, is love. Love thy neighbor as thyself. That's important to me as a man of faith. So that is how, when all of a sudden, what should we call our subscribe and save? I go, well, if our motto and our core principle is to treat these people as our best friends, why don't we call it the BFF membership? These are our best friends forever. They are making a commitment to us, and in turn, we're making a commitment to them. The commitment of free shipping, cash back accruals, free merch after certain milestones in their order history. The best discounts that you can get are through this program. We'll make that commitment to you if you make that commitment to us. And for anybody who is a BFF out there, at any time, if you're old school like me and you don't want to go to the portal and make a change to your subscription, give us a call, give us an email, tell us what you want to do. We can't change credit cards, and do not send a credit card to any company saying, hey, can you do this for me? That's not safe. In fact, just so you know, my customer service agents, they are not even allowed to have a pen at their desk. We put in a credit card for people who need help ordering. We don't write the number down. We put it in. We ask again, was there a middle initial on the card? Our system is, if there's a middle initial on your card and we don't put it in, it's not going to go through. We have a very tight, safe payment gateway. But with that said, once we put it in and hit enter, hopefully there's no typos in there. That's why we'll repeat the card to you, because otherwise we have to start all over again, because we do not write down credit cards. We keep your information as safe. And there's been people who said, hey, just send it to me to the old credit card. We only see the last 4 digits of your credit card. So we do not have your credit cards. We set up a system where it is a gateway through a legalized bank, which is Bank of America. You know, I think our country's largest bank. And we also use Shopify Payments, who they're contracted with financial. There are laws and securities set in place. So whether you're a BFF or any customer buying by credit card, and even PayPal that we offer as well, it is all tight. We can't manipulate. People say, hey, you placed an order for us. It's like, no, we didn't. We can't. We don't have the physical ability. We can place an order and send you a draft for you to complete. And we've had people ask us for that. And as again mentioned, the whole BFF concept is we are here to help. We answer your emails as quickly as we can. We have live phone from the hours of 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific. On our label, it shows it's Monday through Friday, but it's also Saturday. So there's people who sometimes call on Saturday and are shocked to actually get a real person. But we do answer the phone on Saturdays too. Sundays, no, day of rest. Like most companies, you should at least have 1 day of rest. And that was hard for me. For the longest time, when you start a brand or start a company, you have to work a lot. And for years, I was working 7 days a week. And by the way, that's not healthy. That's not good for recovery. You need to take off. You need to unplug. You need to connect with family, friends, go to church, or whatever's important to you. What's important to me is going to my church. Other people, it's golf, and that's okay. So, but still, take time off, do things you love. The other thing I love, but it's been a while and it's a little too hot now, I love hiking, love the outdoors. And hiking season for me is kind of like in California. It's basically 2 great months. It's April and May, and then you start up again October, November. So 4 months out of the year, I am lucky enough. I'm not like Dan, who lives in Utah, St. George area, which has all those beautiful arches and parks and stuff. But we've got some pretty mountains here in Southern California. That's, an hour to 2 hour drive depending on what trail you want to hit. So 4 months out of the year, I really do love hiking. Maybe one of these days I'll see one of you on the trail and you'll recognize my Amino hat and go, hey, I know Amino. So, and by the way, we do give out a hat, I believe after your 12th BFF membership order. I think at the 12th you get a hat. And it's a pretty cool hat. Black, our white logo with the red exclamation point. So, is there any questions out there that I can help with? And by the way, when it comes to help, there's always the naysayer who says, Amino doesn't work. I tried it and got nothing. Well, it does work. We've got people who have been buying since the start, 2019. But with that said, if you don't think it's working, maybe it could be your workout. And this is where we're able to stand up, put the big boy pants on and help. If any of you is still plateauing, I have access, like I said, to great personal fitness trainers. You want to set up an appointment, you call us at our phone number. I think it's 855. It's on our bottle. You think I would memorize it by now? I think it's 855. Well, I'm sorry. I'm having a moment. I can't remember the number, but it's on our website. It's on our packaging. And say, I don't think the product works. Go ahead. Bring it to us. And we will have a personal fitness trainer that we pay, give you a free 20-minute consult. They'll ask, okay, what are your goals? What are you doing? How are you doing it? When did you take Amino? Were you taking it too long before? Were you also taking it while you were working out? Because our product, if anything, has great hydration. And one thing I do need to recognize is today, we got a late start with technology. And I apologize for that. It took April and I over 30 minutes to go live. And today we're live on my phone because something's going on with my laptop and my internet connection. But yet it's the same internet connection with the phone. So I've got a tech issue I'm going to have to address before next week. And I was going to talk about hydration and electrolytes, but we were moving from room to room trying to figure this out. And one of the props I was going to pull out isn't even in this room. And I'm not going to walk away from camera right now. So, but next week we will be talking about hydration, electrolytes, our product, and our electrolytes. And one thing I could tell you that I did the math right now, the leading electrolyte products that you can buy at the cash registers at every single Kroger, Albertsons, same company. Different states have different names of the Kroger banners of supermarkets. And I'm sure it's also at the Targets. There are some big hydration brands that sell electrolytes. Most of them, cheap salt. And maybe if they're good, they'll add some potassium, but never in, there's a book called K Factor from the 90s. There's a ideal ratio of more potassium to sodium. None of these are following the science of the K Factor. We do. And we're giving you a better electrolyte, and we're giving you the amino acids at a better price, and that's without discounts. I bet you it's probably the same price with shipping. But again, if you order, I didn't say this before, our policy on shipping, very simple. You put 2 things in your cart, it's going to bring you above our threshold, and you're going to get free shipping. Or you join our BFF Subscribe and Save. You order just 1 bottle, you're going to save 10% off of the cost, and you're going to get free shipping. And that's probably 20-something bucks in your pocket, and you're going to get some of that cash back for future purchases. So I don't understand why only 20 or 30% of our clients who come back again and again, maybe 30%, maybe is on Subscribe and Save, our BFF program. I'm scratching my head, guys. You're leaving money, I don't want to say on the table, you're leaving money in someone else's pocket, I don't want to say that's my pocket, but there's some savings there for you to grasp. You just have to take it. So with all that said, I do have an 11 a.m. meeting. These are normally supposed to be 30 to 40 minutes, and I lost a ton of time today just trying to go online with everybody. So I apologize. We're going to try to figure this out. But I think I might have said that. We are upgrading our BFF, so you can add any 2 products. to get 15% discount. So our developer's working on that right now. We're hoping it's going to be done by the end of next week. And when it is done, we're going to test it first just to make sure. And then you'll see some emails. And I like to talk about our team. Victor, you're our man. He's on vacation somewhere in South Asia right now. But if you get our emails, Victor and I work a lot on those emails, whether it's the automation flow, the confirmation of your order, the campaigns that we put out on true fitness and wellness subjects. Victor's going to be working on a new email explaining the new and improved BFF discount program and how you get to apply the bottles. And by the way, shout out to Rupert. This was one of his ideas. He talks to the consumer every single day. I think he talks to, 20 customers a day on phone. And then the amount that he's emailing, that he's DMing. So if anything, our guy Rupert, great guy, he knows our consumer really well. He goes, why don't you just do all of it? And it's taking some programming time, a little bit of investment, but we're psyched that we're committed to making this happen. And the timeline shows that by the end of tomorrow, it's supposed to be working. So Adrian, don't let us down. Don't let them down. Let's make our program better, more robust. The savings are great. The program is great. But now it's going to even be better. So anyhow, thank you all for your time. Apologies for the tech